mutant problem has been a plague to our nation for far too long.
Do you know who I am?
These terrorists are armed with abilities that present a clear danger to all of us. If you see any mutant activity in your neighborhood, you are strongly urged to report it immediately.
Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things.
Go ahead and get into it. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am Sid Partu. Joining me today is
Shaboy Rasco.
Shaboy Rasco. Shaboy. I love that through your career here on Geeky Gentlemen, you've had at least 15 different ways to introduce yourself or sign off or whatever.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Ant-Man.
Yeah, there you go. I guess I don't get that.
Well, like Ant-Man, Giant Man, Peter Pan, Yellow Jacket. I don't know.
Okay, anyway, Rascal, what are we here to do today?
We're here to talk about a fan film.
Indeed we are. And what fan film might that be?
It's called Rain.
Yes. This is an X-Men fan film. We've not had much luck with those in the past, but Rasco, I'm gonna show my cards really early on here. This may be one of the best fan films we've discussed. Period.
I don't necessarily agree with it. I'm gonna go ahead and say I probably don't like it as much as you, but I don't think it's bad. I think it's pretty good.
Okay, well, what about it didn't work for you then?
Oh God, it's easier for me to just talk about the things that I like about it and where it's okay. So I like this fan film. I think it's pretty good. Again, it is a complete story, unlike a lot of fan films we talk about. It's very ambitious, and I don't think that this could have been done any better than it was on the budget that it had.
Okay.
Right. So I don't have any complaints with it in terms of accomplishing what it sets out to do. My only complaints are that it's just not what I want in a fan film typically. I do prefer people not trying to do things this big. That being said, I don't think this could have been done any better with what they had to work with based on what I can see on screen.
Gotcha.
So it's not that anything is necessarily poorly handled. It's just this isn't something that I would recommend. I wouldn't, if someone came to me and said this is what I'm planning to do, I would say I'd probably tell them aim smaller. That being said, they went for it, and I don't think that they failed.
Okay, well, see, for me, I don't feel like this is a super ambitious fan film. I feel that it does a lot, but at the same time, it's pretty under the radar. Like, there are special effects in here, but they're not, super over the top. Like, it's all shot on blue screen or green screen. But the environments, it's not like they're out, doing cosmic things. It's just got a very stylized city look, and I feel that is pulled off really well. I feel the way it's shot, the direction of it is just gorgeous. Like, you got the credits and they tell you this was on a Red Epic, and God, they used that really well. I felt the way that they divvied up roles for actors worked really well. I thought the story, a lot of fan films we talk about don't really have much story. They're just like, okay, it's a scene or two. This has a lot of story. It has a genuine character arc, but it does it with like minimal dialogue and all through visuals. I was really impressed with that.
Yeah, I agree with most of that. I mean, and that's what's interesting about it, is that like it does require a lot of special effects work, but it's definitely not relying on that. Mm-hmm. So that's like, if this was just kind of like the Lara Croft fan film where it's kind of just like a big action scene, I would probably kind of hate on it. I can't do that though, because they really did they really did start from like the starting point of, let's make an actual fan film, emphasis on the film part. And you can really see that also in just the way they've kind of not marketed it, but kind of set it up to be watched on YouTube. Like, they just have this channel dedicated to this fan film. And I like when you find those where it's just like a YouTube channel where the name of the channel is the fan film, and they're kind of just treating it like, here's this thing we made. I really like that.
I don't know. I'm of multiple minds when it comes to that, because I feel like that's well and good when this is the only thing you ever plan on making, but I'd like to see more from these people now. No,
yeah, I agree. Like, it's not like from a business perspective the smartest thing to do, but I just kind of like how simplistic, I really like that simplistic approach. Sometimes I get a little irritated when people like refer to themselves as like studios and stuff like that. And that's just me being really snobby and a douchebag, but I don't know.
You wouldn't like me. I have my own production company.
Well, fuck you, Ian. Fuck you.
Yeah, I don't know. I like, I was really impressed right from the beginning, just the fact that they had like production company intros. Mm-hmm. That was really cool. And like, they're not just, like really simple text effects or whatever. Like, modeling a watch and having it fall apart and like explode everywhere and being really zoomed in on all the individual gears and stuff, that's a lot of work to animate and render and have it look good. They pulled that shit off really well.
Yeah.
So, and then the storm thing and the other production intro was really cool. And just, I don't know, man, this has a lot of visual effects. I'm not going to say it doesn't depend on them, but at the same time, they're all really, really good. Like, at worst, they're good quality television level effects. At best, it looks like it's right off the screen of a superhero movie. Like, when she flies at the end, on some level I'm aware they did that with wires or whatever, but it looks amazing. I'm really trying to think here. We haven't talked about a ton of fan films that integrate flying. The one that comes to mind did it really, really poorly. But this is probably the best flight effect I've ever seen in a fan film.
I remember what one you're talking about now.
But you agree, right? Like, that's a really good flight effect.
I agree. That's like the best shot in the whole fan film. It's like that's the money shot. It looks pretty cool.
I mean, it's what they used for the thumbnail. It's fucking gorgeous. It just looks really, really cool. The way that they utilize Storm's powers, the way they do the eyes, everything about the effects looks brilliant. And they're not even the most impressive thing about this to me. I don't know, it's a hard thing to say, but for me, the best fan film we've talked about, period, has been Dragon Ball Z: The Fall of Men.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing has surpassed that for me. This might. And that's because DBZ Fall of Men had really good effects work, really good acting, really good direction, and a genuinely good and heartfelt story, even though there was a very long fight scene in it. This has all of those. It has an extended fight scene, but not overly long, and its story is a lot better to me.
Yeah, I think also what's really cool about this is like the world building it does.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that I really liked about it is I enjoy this like grungy kind of shitty future.
Yeah.
And
like
it's not even like
Could we all just agree that the best part of X-Men Days of Future Past is like the first 2 minutes?
Well, it's pretty cool. Yeah, but I'm a big fan of the grungy shitty future. I think that's the kind of future I'd like to occupy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I like when everybody looks like they belong in like a mosh pit or something like that. I enjoy that atmosphere, and that's one of the things that I really do enjoy about this, just stylistically. I think that the weakest technical aspect of this is the sound. Some of the sound effects, I can't put my finger on it. Maybe sometimes the sound is just a little bit off with specific effects, like when when someone like turns to their right or their left. Sometimes they'll like you hear like a gun noise in a lot of movies where it's like just like the sound of the metal kind of like settling in the person's arm to a new position, and like and I'm not even sure if that's what I'm remembering from this that sounded off, but there were like little sound effects here and there that weren't great. But that's the weakest part on the technical side of this. So it's not a huge problem. I'd rather it have poor sound than like poor visuals or something like that.
See, I didn't notice anything like that. I thought the sound was fine. Let me ask, did you watch this with headphones or speakers or what?
I was just on speakers.
Okay, because I watched it through my television, so I don't know. That was not a problem for me at all. Technically, I can't really give you a complaint. I cannot give you a technical complaint on this fan film. Everything about this was done fantastically from a technical standpoint. There's no blurs, there's no chroma blurs, anything like that. I have a hard time telling when something's a set and when it's chroma. Like I'm pretty sure the hotel's a set. Pretty sure, like a 9 out of 10. And I'm also that way on the bar. I'm less sure about like the alleyway. I don't know. Maybe they like blended set and chroma key. Because like, obviously the city shots are chroma, but
yeah, I think they did blend it. So like I think they had like 2 brick walls, and then whenever you're seeing the opposite side of those brick walls, it's green screen. That
would make sense. That's totally believable. It's just like, it's so well integrated. The reason I know it's a green screen is because, okay, you could not possibly have timed this to get storm clouds.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only justification I can make for that shot is definitely a green screen for a lot of these. I can tell like the opening animation where you're getting the city shot and everything is green screen, but at the same time, that's mainly due to the color correction and stuff. The way the camera moves, because a lot of that you could do nowadays on a fan film budget if you have a drone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if you watched this video. It's called Superman POV.
Oh, I have seen that, yeah.
Yeah, and like they shot all that with a drone, and like that, it's very doable nowadays. So I don't know, man. I was really blown away by this. I'm not sure what exactly your reservation is. What do you think of the story?
That was probably one of the things that I liked the most about it, was that it had one of those things where oftentimes you get like really stupid, generic, shitty, doesn't really mean anything dialogue when somebody doesn't have like their inner power, or they're not like I'm like, there are a million different things where I've seen the story of like a person has abilities that they don't know they have, and they're either like repressed or they've been like brainwashed or something's going wrong, and someone will just have some sort of like line like, you just gotta dig deep, and then they'll like unlock their ability. I really like the part where they talk about how it's like they can't actually take away your powers, they can just make you forget what you're capable of. I thought that was really cool because, one, again, that actually means something. And if you couldn't take someone's powers away, like, that's actually pretty interesting. That's kind of like a clever way to handle taking away someone's powers, is to just make them forget their basic human abilities. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I really love that scene in the bar. I thought that was really, really neat, the way she's just like dealing with having no idea who she is truly, but having this profound sense of loss. And the whole time you think this sense of loss is due to, okay, because she's had her mind wiped and she doesn't know who she is, and there's this, she doesn't know how to use her powers anymore. But like, then you just get the reveal, she feels a sense of loss because of her child. And that was really, really good. Really, I didn't see that coming at all. That impressed the hell out of me. I really like that character moment for her, and I love the way that, the character is credited as Rain because she doesn't know who she is. Even until the end, she doesn't 100% realize that she is Storm. And I love that line. She's like, I think my name is Rain. You sound like you're more powerful than some rain to me. I really like that line. Like, every bit of dialogue in here is just perfectly crafted to serve the story and the character arc. This is a fan film with very minimal dialogue, but dialogue that serves a very functional purpose.
Yeah, it's not like really underwritten or anything. It's definitely using a lot of visuals, but also the editing to tell the story as well. So it's not like underwritten. It's just the perfect amount. One little detail I want to get back to, because I thought of this and I forgot to bring it up a second ago when we were talking about the technical side of this. I love when you're in her like apartment area, and it's like the window, instead of them just like having a window there, they put like a little thing of green screen, and then they like had like the outside cityscape. I thought that was just a cool little detail, because normally you'd get like just that window and whatever's outside that window would be there, but they decided to like, no, let's put some green screen there so we can like make it look consistent. Like, you can see the city that the rest of the visuals throughout the rest of the fan film, like they're still present even when you're inside. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah,
that was really impressive. I also really like the way this plays with a lot of the identity and the politics and social commentary of X-Men as a whole. Because X-Men is kind of just the catch-all for the minority feeling. Even if the minority is youth, if it's LGBT, if it's race, whatever it is, the like X-Men has always served as the minority viewpoint. That's what it's meant to be, at least. And this really perfectly does that. It does Mohawk Storm, which is really interesting, because Rasco, do you have the video pulled up by chance?
Yeah.
Okay, if you look through the recommended videos, do you see the Nerd Sync video with Storm's Mohawk in the recommended on the side?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, it came up for me. I don't know if it'll come up for anyone else, but like, there's this whole group that doesn't understand Storm's Mohawk. And I think Storm's Mohawk in this serves as a great moment, and they draw attention to it with a line of dialogue, which is fantastic, because Storm cutting her hair and going in the mohawk could have just been, okay, this is the Storm costume that we like best, so we're going to do this version. But one, it shows that the actress actually shaved her head. Two, which is goddamn commitment. Actress also wrote the story for this, which is really impressive.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so shows that she actually shaved her head, which is pretty cool. But the mohawk serves as this act of rebellion. And if you watch the Nerd Sync video about Storm's mohawk, it's all about how people think that, oh, well, if she just wants to fit in society, why would she have a mohawk? And that's not the point of the X-Men. Is she wants the right to express herself, to be herself. That's what you want as a member of the mutants in the Marvel universe, and that's what minorities in reality want, or minority populations in reality want, is the right to be themselves and not have to worry about persecution. And so when you have Storm actually put on the mohawk, and then you go and she's on the ground and literally a white man that is a symbol of corrupt authority says, "You were already black and a woman and a freak. Why would you give yourself a mohawk?" And it's just a great metaphor, and that's such a perfect little moment. The only thing, and this is going to get where I get really, people are going to reel when I say this. The only thing that could have made that moment better for me is if the guy just said nigger cunt. That is the I know, I'm sure people are reeling when I say that. But no, that is what he means when he says black woman, but just if it had just been that much more blatant, I would have loved it even more.
Yeah, you that would be, they've done Logan. Let's get that movie where you can get away with saying nigger cunt.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I offend people by saying that word, but that is the tone, and that actor does a great job with it. That is the tone in which he delivers those words, and that is just perfect. And so the mohawk, it's not only a cool look for Storm. I like Storm's mohawk as much as the next guy. I don't know many black people that have mohawks, but whatever. But it's so awesome, but it works so well in the story that they're telling, and it's just perfect. It just works perfectly. It creates this perfect little mesh, and I'm going to say perfect about 10 more times, because I cannot possibly think of a way to improve it besides having the actor call her a nigger cunt. Nigger cunt mutie. That would have been the term to use right there. But otherwise, it's just excellent. The tone of that, the way that all builds to that moment, and then when her life is literally on the line is when she is able to restore herself, when she's able to remember what she lost and have the will to fight back and access her powers. And then just the way she uses her powers are freaking awesome. I'm trying to decide if my favorite is the lightning bolt or literally sucking the oxygen out of the guy's lungs.
What I like about that scene is just the shot where the tear goes to the ground and then you see the raindrops.
Yeah.
That's the coolest shot in the whole fan film. Besides the money shot that's in the thumbnail, is when she's crying and then that tear just falls and then you see another thing, but it's not a tear, it's rain. I think that is just really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I thought this just worked perfectly for me, man. I was so glad that I picked this just on a whim. Normally when I pick fan films based on a whim, it does not end well. But man,
what are you talking about?
That worked out so well this time. I was so very pleased. All right, what else can we talk about with this? I don't know. What did you think of the fight scene?
That was one of the things where I thought it was pretty cool how they utilized her powers, and I was worried that it would be one of those things where she just still punches people, but I like how after she gets her powers, she's it's not like they can really do full I'm Storm flying around throwing hurricanes at people, but I like how they used her powers in almost a hand-to-hand combat kind of sense. I think that was pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool when she does like the thing where she just like kind of like dodges and then like turns into like a tornado and kicks him.
Yeah, that was neat.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like how they utilize that. For the record, though, Storm could totally take all those guys bare-knuckled, no powers. She was Black Panther for a time. So I'm just going to throw that one out there. But all that being said, the fight scene was awesome. I love the moment where, you know, the guy's got the gun on her and her eyes just white out and then it's just fog everywhere. That was so cool.
That is pretty freaking cool.
Oh, man. It's that perfect blend of great story and badass. And then I love so much about this, the moment at the end, very, very end credits, where her daughter sees the storm cloud brewing outside and smiles.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. I mean, like, it just works, dude. I'm in love with this thing.
Yeah, you know, this makes me really hope that we, like, do some cool shit with the new Storm that we have from X-Men Apocalypse. Because that actress I really like. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they should look to this and maybe be like, hey, let's make Storm pretty fucking cool, guys. We haven't really done that yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm wary of the X-Men movies after Apocalypse, but we'll see what happens. I still need to see Logan. What else to talk about with this? The score, kind of a minimal score. I really like the end song with the guitar.
I'm having trouble even remembering it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just thought the guitar at the end was really cool. What else then? So you're not a fan of the score then, since you can't remember much about it?
That doesn't mean I'm not a fan. It's like I kind of tune out fan film music most of the time for some reason.
Interesting.
I don't know. I just tend to do that. I don't do that with normal movies. I just always kind of like assume in fan films they're gonna just like have like some stock music. I kind of just don't pay attention to it.
Okay, no, that's fine.
If it wasn't that, then I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed.
I don't know if it was stock music or not. I just like the majority of the music. I didn't pay much note to. I thought it fit the scene just fine. The guitar at the end with the end credits I thought was really cool though. We haven't talked about the guy who has the most dialogue, which is weird. The director of MNI.
Okay, yeah.
I really found all of what he was saying to be very fascinating because, again, with this idea of how genocide is possible, the clean white shirt of genocide, you know, the person that sits there and is like, oh no, we're doing it to help them, we're doing it to make them so they can fit in with the rest of us, blah blah blah. I really, really like that he's just this happy face to the rest of society to make everybody feel like they're not really doing anything awful, and how that just immediately contrasts with all of the things that we see. Like, he gives that whole speech about how MNI is just there to help people fit in and yada yada, right before we see Storm literally thrown on the street and a guy says, next time I see you, I'm going to kill you. That was just perfect for me. So I really, really liked that. I don't know if the second scene with him was as necessary when we hear him talking in the hotel. But I still really like the first scene.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, and this is way too much to fit into this, but it makes me wonder, like, the politics of this particular world. Because how do you get to a place where, or I wonder if the general public even knows that there's, like, must be some sort of, like, lack of consent to this? That's, like, the big problem, right? It's like you're abducting people and taking their memories away from them. Mm-hmm. Even if they like, that's the weird part. I wonder what the general population in this particular world would feel like, and how you get to a place like that.
I think it is just that situation of, people are told, oh, it's humane, or oh, it's just for our own protection because they're mutants, they can't be trusted. But we're going to be humane about it. We're not going to just kill them. We're just going to, make them so they can't use their powers. And, I'm sure I'm sure you could almost do like a thing where, you have that line in the telepathic vision where a guy says, there used to be heroes that fought for us, but they were turned out on the streets to be beggars and examples. I almost imagine an interview, like a televised interview with like Kitty Pryde or someone like that who's been brainwashed to think that, she hated being a mutant and now she's so happy that she's not, or something like that. Yeah. And how like the X-Men are we're a radical group that brainwashed her into fighting humanity or something. Just so blatantly obvious propaganda kind of thing could have been really interesting. What would have been neat about that is it wouldn't have taken too much to do a segment like that. To just show, kind of a famous mutant like a Henry McCoy or something.
Yeah, that's the one that I think that would be the coolest.
I love Beast. And that would be like the saddest possible thing to show Beast doing, and that would make it just even better.
But how would it work with Beast? Because if they
that does raise an interesting question. How do you make the mutants that quote unquote can't hide into how do you make them forget their powers? I suppose they just kill those people.
Yeah, that's what you must you'd probably have to.
Henry McCoy is an interesting case because he, of course, took a serum that he gave himself to hide his mutation for years and years.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question, and probably why they didn't explore too much of the details and just focus so much on the character arc.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure you could come up with something, though.
Yeah. It's really weird. This is almost you can almost do a Bombshells kind of thing with this. Where just you just kind of do a specific universe, and it's trashy future X-Men, but it's not like Days of Future Past. It's this other thing. There's
no getting out of it. It's just this is the situation now.
Yeah, it's you just put a fork in regular X-Men continuity, and then this is where it goes. And it's just it's not a time travel thing. It's just this is the shitty future, and you do almost like Spider-Man 2099, where that's just the status quo, and you're just in that universe.
Oh man, that would be so sad. Oh, that'd be so hard to read, but in the best possible way.
Yeah. Man.
See, it's weird. I'm not a huge X-Men fan, but this kind of stuff really, really attracts me to it. Yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this one, guys, if you couldn't tell. This one really, really worked for me. What have you thought any more about your specific specific complaints beyond the sound, or no?
I don't have a whole I don't have a whole lot of complaints with this one. It's just not. It's it's just not my favorite fan film we've talked about.
Okay.
The lost episode that no one will ever hear. We talked about that Star Wars fan film. Was it called Hoshino or something like that?
Whoops.
That was. It was kind of like that. I don't think that you really didn't like that one. It was just I really liked that one, and and you just, I don't know. I'm just kind of. I mean, this is good. This is definitely much better than a lot of the fan films we talk about. Much better.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and do ratings then. I'm gonna go first, and yeah, no surprise. I'm gonna give this 5 out of 5 injections right into your fucking temple.
Dang.
Because ow.
I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give it a really fucking weird score. I just feel like I give. Okay, you know what? Never mind. Fuck it. I'll go ahead. I'll give it 4 Mohawks out of 4. Out of 5. I'm sorry, I can't count.
4 out of 5 Mohawks, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's really, I don't know what it could do to convince you it deserves a higher score than that. Damn. Oh well. Rasco, you told me before we started recording that you have actually picked out a fan film this week.
Yep, I actually remembered to pick one, and the name of it is Friday the 13th, The Curse of Jason, short fan film. The YouTube channel is Studio 605.
Okay. Should be interesting. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to this episode. Please join us next week for a Friday the 13th fan film. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
And I'm the beta male cuck.
And we are your geeky gentlemen. And we will be discussing things.